KGSO.
The Press Box on KGSO.
Hey, yo, Wichita, what's going on? It is the Press Box on 1410 93.9 KGSO in the Renewal by Anderson Studios. Jacob Zimmerman, Sasha Bushka. Give us a call on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines. That's 316-522-1410. Number hasn't changed. Oh, man. Give us a comment. Check out the streams on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or YouTube. We got the SC Wichita app and KGSO.com. Pleased to be with you today. We're going to be talking here on this Friday, wrapping up the week, about we got some sponsorships involved with the Big 12. I want to cover K-State's potentially going to get a jersey patch for football. Tim Grubbs from the Wichita Wind Surge is going to stop by here in about 25 minutes. We'll talk a little Field of Dreams with him. We'll probably have a discussion amongst ourselves. The Royals have signed a former All-Star pitcher. We're probably going to talk a little fantasy football in the second hour of the show. Maybe a couple storylines here in the NFL with Terrion Arnold and James Pierce Jr. And we actually are going to get out of here a little early today as we have a NFL preseason game to air, coverage starting at 5:30. Sasha, what's going on, dude?
Fired up, man. It's Friday. Did anyone tell you it was Friday, Jacob?
I know it was Friday.
Not just one of the greatest days of the week, the greatest day of the week. I'm excited. An hour and a half. We're going to entertain you for a little bit and then turn over to the NFL. I'm excited for the weekend.
I could probably get in a debate with you about whether Friday is truly the best day of the week or not. I think Saturday's up there. I mean, you consider Sunday.
Saturday's okay.
It's only not
Sunday's
Monday.
fine.
But, yeah, we'll go with Friday for now. 522-1410 once again. All right, I wanted to kick things off here. I know they made the announcement some months ago from the Big 12 as far as, look, the Monster Energy partnership, sort of co-branding with the conference here. I don't know if we're ever going to see this thing dubbed the Monster Energy Big 12 Conference officially, but it feels like that could be down the road. But, yeah, back in July, they kind of rolled out the announcement. And, look, I sort of asked, I'm asking what's the when, what's the where, what's the why. The where is, look, you're going to see Big 12 Monster Energy logos on football fields. I think they're not even going to be on the sideline of the end zone. They're going to be maybe even around the 25-yard mark. Basketball hardwoods, I'm seeing some stuff. Maybe it's a real photo. Maybe it's AI out there from Allen Fieldhouse, the Naismith Court. You potentially have the Monster Energy logo at half court, and then you got like a logo, a big old thing in the middle of the paint, which I'm seeing a lot of fans online reacting to in negative fashion. So I kind of want to open up with that, and of course it's going to bring in more money for each school in the university. That's awesome, but I do think in terms of kind of old school mentality here, keeping the playing field clean, literally, I think is what fans want to see here.
Yeah, listen, it's the Monster Energy Big 12, so it's a part of the name of the conference. So the places where you're seeing that they're going to put these logos are like every basketball court has a Big 12 logo on it. So it's just going to be the Monster logo as part of the Big 12 logo. That's what happens when you name your conference after an energy drink. The logo becomes a part of Monster becomes a part of the logo of the Big 12. It is called the Monster Energy Big 12 now. And so these aren't like standalone Monster Energy logos on these courts. They're part of the place where the Big 12 logo would normally be, like inside the paint of the court. And so now it doesn't look great, right? Because it's like in the electric green that Monster uses next to the red of the Big 12. And none of these courts are electric green to start with. So I don't think it looks great. But you don't just get money for nothing, right? And the Big 12 is getting a lot of money from Monster Energy, so they're going to put their logos everywhere. That's kind of how, that's the world of college sports we live in, is that if you want money, you make concessions.
I understand it's the world in which we live in, and look, we fully understand how advertising works, and it needs to be necessary. But I think there is a degree in some fashion, right? Like you open up a website like the Big12Sports.com, and you see a couple different sponsorships here on the main page. I totally get that. I do think you kind of look at some sport broadcasts from even like 5-10 years ago, Sasha. I mean, I was seeing some clips of NBA floors of how, look, just about every space of the sideline, the scores table, the baseline. I mean, it's covered in advertisements compared to just a couple of years ago where most teams kept it relatively bare. And I understand, like, a lot of money to be made, but maybe there's a thought every now and then, and we're seeing it from the fan bases here with KU and K-State. Maybe a little upset about what they're going to see here coming forward here at things like Bill Snyder Family Stadium and Allen Fieldhouse and beyond across the country. So, and to really hear this conference, I was reading you have 37 out of 138 Division I schools in FBS that have a jersey patch sponsorship. We're going to get to that here in just a moment with K-State potentially going to roll out one, but kind of grouped up in the same conversation of is it worth it overall? Maybe it helps to land a couple more recruits. It keeps the conference riding high, right? You don't want to see the Big 12 conference fall off financially. You want to bring in 5 stars. You want to have competitive teams there trying to win a national championship. But I do think it's worth, asking the question, and we're going to later tie this into something with a Field of Dreams, whether this is what you want to see.
It is worth it, right? Like the bottom line is they're getting millions of dollars, and a few fans are complaining about a logo. I don't care if they don't like the way the field looks or the court looks. So yeah, it's worth it. In the jersey patches, right? Depending on what kind of money teams are getting for that makes it worth it. Something cool I did see. Did you know that every Big 12 team has their own flavor of Monster Energy drink? That came out back when they announced this partnership.
You would have to pay me to drink that.
Kansas is the Ripper, and K-State is Ultra Purple.
Ultra Purple. This is something that you can, order online, or?
Yeah, I see the renderings here on Twitter of each university's can logo, what it looks like, and what it's called, and all 16 of them have their own Monster Energy drink.
Does a percentage of the sales go to the university? How does it work? For
probably because they're using the university's names and things. So I would imagine so.
I don't know. I would just donate as a booster directly instead of buying an energy drink. They're not too good for you guys. They're not too good. Monster Energy partnering with the Big 12. I don't think any of these athletes are necessarily drinking it. K-State in the works to get a jersey patch sponsorship. Maybe going to be the 38th team in FBS to do so. Look, they're already going to have the Monster Energy and the Big 12 patch, but apparently now there's going to be another one. Gene Taylor revealed the Wildcats are close to finalizing a sponsorship deal for a football-specific jersey patch. We're going to see these details come out here in the near future. Stay tuned. Taylor said the good news is that there's been a lot of interest in our jersey patch. We're close to finalizing an opportunity with a company that they cannot name just yet. Any idea of who this could be? I think it would make sense for it to be like a Midwest regional brand here for the K-State Wildcats. I don't know if it's going to be Quick Trip like the Royals have or what.
I couldn't tell you, right? There's lots of brands out there that would probably want to hop on the K-State wagon. It'll be interesting, right? Because you when you start buddying up with a college, you have to worry about their rivals, right? And like if you impress half the state of Kansas, you're going to make half the state of Kansas mad that are not Wildcat fans. So you'd want to be a brand that more aligns with K-State than KU and not just looking to get press. Like with pro sports, you don't worry about that as much, I don't think. There's not as many shared borders and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see who they buddy up with there.
They're saying it could be potentially Shamrock. K-State's indoor training facility for football has already been named after the Shamrock Company. It's very possible. I would have them being the lead favorite for the game day jerseys of K-State. Oh, man, we're going to talk with Tim Krebs here about some baseball coming up, but I guess in the baseball world, Sasha, there was the Field of Dreams. You could probably tell me a little bit more about the story, but as far as last night's game, look, do you call it a corn bomb, a core ball? What do you call it here with Kyle Schwarber getting a pair of home runs last night? I know one of them went off the glove, I believe, of Keyshaw out in right field. Right field was pretty hot in that game, 7-1 over the Minnesota Twins. So we'll have to ask Grubbs about the contest there involving the parent club of the Wichita Wind Surge. But it looks like the Phillies are kind of starting to get back on track. And you put up 7 runs in a baseball game, you hold your opponent to 1. You're doing good things out there. But of course, it's really not even as much about the result. It's about playing at the Field of Dreams, man.
Yeah, and you tune into that game for the views, right? Seeing the cornfields, kind of getting the nostalgia of like if you grew up watching that movie, right? And it's playing baseball in a cornfield. They have all the players come out of the corn at the beginning of the game, and so a little bit like they do in the movie. And so it's a fun thing to do every once in a while, and I think baseball's done a nice job of like using that stadium here and there to kind of keep the nostalgia, but not using it all the time. And I think they've used it in some college games too, and so kind of spreading that out, letting a lot of people use it. It is interesting that we were just having the sponsorship conversation. On the same token, you see Schwarber hit a bomb over the right field wall, and on the wall of the Field of Dreams field is a big FanDuel logo. And that is like the whole point of this exercise is aesthetics, right? What the field looks like. And so I think it falls into a little bit different category than like the big sponsorships. But the other thing about this one is it's a gambling site, and the whole thing of the movie was about Shoeless Joe Jackson and him not getting to play anymore because of the 1919 Black Sox scandal. So it's an interesting choice of sponsors, but I guess FanDuel and DraftKings have all the money, and so they're going to buy the sponsorships, and the MLB wants money, and so that's the way that went down.
We're kind of stumbling upon what is the not talked about side as much with sports, right? Kind of the negative stain, right, under the table. What's going on here? And look, you kind of follow the money, you'll find some interesting things. But Field of Dreams, look, I think the corn is a great background here for a baseball game. And it begs the question, look, as much variety as you have with baseball, you don't necessarily see a rural backdrop with baseball stadiums, right? It's in the heart of a city, right? You're seeing skyscrapers, you're seeing the road go by right up there in Kansas City from Kauffman Stadium. I remember the last time I went to a Royals game, I don't think I counted more than a single second where I didn't see a car go by, right? But you get a lot of different variety in baseball. Of course, they mix it up. Certain stadiums have a dome, right? You got to have it really high up for a baseball game. But it begs the question, hey, maybe mix around with a couple of more neutral site contests per season. Yeah. And I would not mind Major League Baseball thinking about, different areas of the country with different scenic views, creating out those stadiums.
Yeah, you'd have to create new stadiums is part of the problem, right? You have these there's not a lot of places that you would play a Major League game outside of the Major League stadiums that already exist. And so I don't know exactly how feasible that is. I think like this project was undertaken because of the popularity of the movie, and kind of part of the movie is how crazy could you be to build a baseball field in a cornfield, because you're losing money, right? Like you're not growing corn where that baseball field is, and people gave the guy a lot of grief, and now they actually built a baseball field in this cornfield. I am watching like some clips from the game last night, and behind the plate they have John Deere as a sponsor there, and that feels more on brand to me for baseball in a cornfield as a John Deere sponsorship. And so I think you want to look for people that make sense on that. But yeah, there could be some more neutral site stuff. They could also like take a page out of the The NFL would be a little bit harder, but play in other countries and things like that. The problem is baseball's not played in football's not played in other countries either. The problem is the travel schedule and all that. You can't just do a one-off game. There's not a week between games, and it's hard to get into other places. They do play in Japan every once in a while. They always do it like before the season, but they're real games that count towards the season standings. They just a couple teams stop spring training early and go out to Japan. So
the issue is the Major League Baseball schedule. And I mean, way back in the day when they decided, hey, we need to play 162 regular season games. I don't want to mess with tradition, but kind of a crazy concept to have that many games. And so it makes, hey, if you wanted to go play in another country for a Major League Baseball contest, what are you going to just pack up the night of the game and try to fly back?
Yeah, no, it'd be tricky. You'd have to play a whole series somewhere or figure it out around the All-Star break. But that's why they go to Japan before the season.
Devin giving us a little bit of substance here on the Facebook feed. Devin, I appreciate it, man. It's hot in Wichita. The check engine light came on for you, dude. That sucks. Quick question for the show. With the Heat, if you had to sit through one full game today, in person, no shade, no AC, of course, Chiefs preseason, Royals baseball, or your kids' 8U tournament, which one are you surviving? Look, I think there's a lot of stakes when you got a kid in the contest. I don't have a child yet, Devin, but I know how this works. You're sort of reliving the dreams, the aspirations to your kid. You're invested, right? Pitch by pitch basis, every snap on the football field. I think that's probably where time would fly by the most. I would actually say maybe second to me would be a Royals baseball game because I haven't gone to one this season. It would still be a little tough unless I have, like press credentials, Devin. Chiefs preseason probably is going to be third for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking me which one I would make it through, right? If I'm out at my kid's 8U tournament and it's hot, I'm not going to leave, right? So I'll make it through that one because it's your 8-year-old kid. But if you're asking me like which one I would most want to go to, it'd probably be a Chiefs preseason game. I love the Heat, so I'd go to all three. I'd be excited to be at any of the three, and it'd be a lot of fun. I'll take a walk in 100-degree heat. Yeah. I'm not scared of the heat.
Right. I grew up in some
the only thing that bothers me is like if you're in the middle of your day and you get super sweaty. It's like the afterwards of getting super sweaty more so than actually being in the heat. I don't mind being in the heat. It's when I come inside and I'm sweaty.
This weather that we're getting right now, this week in Wichita, it was like an average summer day where I went to school, and so I'm pretty used to this. But I know the folks in Wichita are struggling.
It's maybe a couple degrees hotter than normal for August, but I remember summers where we had 50 days, more than 50 days over 100 degrees. So it's definitely not the worst summer I've seen here.
You get both ends of the spectrum here in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a breather here on KGSO. We'll come back. We won't ask Tim about the weather. We'll keep it to sports. Tim Grubbs from the Wichita Wind Surge, breaking things down at the Diamond there at Equity Bank Park. They got a Be Bold Neon Night. It has to do with the Special Olympics. They want folks to come on out at 6:35 tonight against the Corpus Christi Hooks and show off your bold colored clothes in support. Cool concepts. Nothing cooler than the Field of Dreams out in Iowa. I almost got to broadcast a game there. I had to leave Iowa, though. We'll be back.
This segment of the Press Box is brought to you by Wichita Clear Bra, the ultimate car care and protection. Online at wichitaclearbra.com.
The Press Box on KGSO.
High school football season is here, and KGSO Sports Radio is your home for the Golden Eagles. Bishop Carroll is looking to flex their muscles out on the gridiron this fall and cause havoc in the Greater Wichita Athletic League. Tune in on Friday night as award-winning broadcaster Doug Downs and his team bring the action to life. Hear every touchdown, every story with Bishop Carroll football right here on 1410, 93.9 and the SC Wichita app. Don't forget about the Tuesday night coaches show and the Saturday morning sports page for further coverage. Go Eagles! Fire sale at the Black Friday Deals and Discount store on 47th and Broadway. Truckloads of brand new items from Amazon, Walmart, and Target. But for just $10, nearly everything in the store is on sale for just $10 Friday and $7 on Saturday. Electronics like controllers, laptops, headphones, just $10. Name brand clothing and shoes, Stanley Cups, accessories, all kinds of household items, just $10. Come check out the brand new Ashley Furniture for discount price. 120 days, same as cash, $5 down. So don't break your budget and shop today at the Black Friday Deals and Discount store.
Fall is rapidly approaching, and the ideal time to core aerate and seed a fescue lawn is September 1st through mid-October. Let the professionals at Meadowlark Landscape and Design give you an honest assessment of your lawn and its needs. They offer core aeration, overseeding, and dethatching services. Call them today, 316-880-0227, 316-880-0227, and get on their schedule for this fall. It's Meadowlark Landscape and Design, the trusted partner of Steckline Communications.
Every school pickup line has a main character. Most days, it's the kids. But once a year, a parent pulls up in a brand new Kia Telluride. And suddenly, all eyes are on Mom.
Is that the new one? I heard it comes in a hybrid now.
I heard it has heated seats in all 3 rows.
And for a moment, the kids aren't the only ones in the spotlight. This August, let that parent be you. Because Mom deserves to shine too. Or if it's your student's turn to get behind the wheel, find great starter cars like the K4 sedan and K4 hatchback. Plus, you can get 0% financing on brand new Sportage and Sorrento models. And every new Kia is backed by our unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Whichever model you choose, we have big savings on great vehicles for that main character energy. Only at Midwest Kia.
We wanna see ya in a Midwest Kia.
With approved credit, see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kathleen Eubanks-Ming with the American Academy of Family Physicians. Bullies use power, strength, or popularity to hurt others emotionally or physically. And while you can't be with your child all the time, there are ways you can help. If your child encounters a bully, tell them to get to a safe place and tell an adult. You can also show them how to block online bullies. Teach them they can be more than a bystander and that they can help their peers. For more on bullying, visit familydoctor.org or talk with your family physician.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
If you can tell me you've watched Patrick Mahomes over the last few years and he's the same quarterback as when he broke into the league, I don't think you're being honest because he's not the same quarterback. This is a reputation pick. Patrick Mahomes is definitely on the other side going the other way.
This is The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Evenings on KGSO. And find KGSO on the SC Wichita app. KGSO Studio, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Expert installation done right. Right on schedule. Find them online at renewalbyanderson.com. Remember, today you heard Colin Cowherd, only on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
So, but I guess you changed her mind. Well, I should have known it wouldn't be alright, but I can't live without her, so I won't even try.
Yes, sir. Welcome on back to the Press Box on KGSO 1410 93.9. Let's keep the baseball train moving just a little bit more. And let's talk some Wichita Wind Surge with the broadcaster himself. He is Tim Grubb, stopping by once again, joining us on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines. Tim, how are you?
Doing great. How you guys doing? It's a nice, beautiful day here at the ballpark. Nice upper 70s, clear blue skies. I'm enjoying it.
That's what I'm talking about. Mind over matter, Tim.
Did you say, upper 70s? That sounds like a bit of a fib, just a little bit, right?
It is a bit of a fib. What am I off by, like 30 degrees?
Yeah, 33.
No, it's actually not too bad. I'm actually standing down the left field line. So I'm actually outside, standing not too far from where the left fielders stand. So Yeah, no, it's actually not too bad right now. A little overcast and obviously a customary Wichita wind surge cooling things down just a smidge.
Right. I got to ask you, Tim, before we get into the real meat and potatoes here, do you ever, go and grab the glove and toss around with the players, before a game? Is that kind of your way to get the inside scoop on these guys?
So I have not done that in probably a decade, I think. So what I used to do when I was a little bit younger, I used to, when the team's taking batting practice, there's always someone hitting ground balls to the infield with the fungo bat. I was the catcher for them.
Nice.
So I would stand next to him, and the first baseman would just lob the ball into me, and I'd make the catch and then flip it to whoever was hitting the grounders to the infield. So I have done that. I had to stretch out for a ball once, split my pants right before a game.
Oh.
But
what a confession.
no, that was fun. But I haven't done it in a while, but it is fun, and that is a great way. You're onto something there. That is a great way to get to, just pal around with the guys, and you just, talk and all that stuff and pick up a little bit of information. That's for sure. Maybe
you switch to the shorts when you go out to the diamond. Oh, man, we're going to have some fun here with Tim Grubbs. We'll start here with kind of where we picked up on with the Field of Dreams game. The Field of Dreams game, the Minnesota Twins, of course, parent club to the Wind Surge, involved in this one. Look, I was kind of saying at the start of the show, it's not about the result in the Field of Dreams game. You get 161 other baseball games to play that matter to the standings, and of course this one does, but I think it's about the players getting a really cool experience and going and playing in a cornfield, for crying out loud. What are your thoughts on the Field of Dreams contest?
I love all these unique standalone games. I mean, obviously, I enjoy the NHL playing the outdoor game. The stadium series that they do usually around the turn of the year and New Year's Day, and I think those are fun. I love the game at Fort Bragg a few years ago, the game in Bristol, Tennessee, at the NASCAR track a few years ago. Obviously, Major League Baseball played a game a few years ago at the College World Series Stadium in Omaha. The Field of Dreams, my favorite. Obviously, it was a favorite movie of mine growing up. My wife is from the state of Iowa, so Iowa means a lot to me. It's pretty special. And I think it's awesome. It's on my bucket list. I certainly hope to broadcast a game from there. Our Major League team obviously was there last night, and then 2 nights ago, our AAA team, the St. Paul Saints, played there as well against the Iowa Cubs. So the fact that they've expanded it to some minor league games as well, hopefully one of these years Wichita could be in that classic. But it is something special, and that pregame ceremony last night was certainly fantastic. They did a great job.
Obviously, the stadium in Iowa made famous by the movie Field of Dreams. Is Field of Dreams your top baseball movie? What's your top baseball movie ever, Tim?
I don't know why I think this, because it's not from a movie standpoint. It's probably not that great of a movie, but I love For Love of the Game, another Kevin Costner movie, the perfect game that he pitches at Yankee Stadium as a member of Detroit. I really like that movie, and then obviously being a minor league baseball guy, huge Bull Durham fan. So I think Bull Durham might be one, For Love of the Game, 1B or something like that. Those are 2. Dreams is not far behind. It's definitely on the list. That's for sure.
I'll confess a weakness of mine is getting down and watching some of these sports movies from yesteryear. But, Tim, I got to ask you about a now major leaguer and former Wichita Wind Surge member, former K-State Wildcat as well, Kalen Culpepper. Look, he made a splash. First hit, first home run for Culpepper. He has so far got a couple hits through 5 contests I'm seeing on Baseball Reference there with the Twins. Have you been impressed with his start here in the majors?
Yes, I have been. I was impressed with KC when he played here in Wichita a year ago. Is a true athlete, obviously can do a lot at the plate and on the bases. What an arm for Kalen Culpepper that he has. And, and for him to get the opportunity, basically 2 years and 2 weeks after being drafted out of K-State to be in the big leagues, that's a very quick climb. And that's awesome for him. And he's a great human being, and getting to know him last season. I'm excited for him, and I'm glad he's got the opportunity. I'm glad he got that first home run out of the way. He's been hit by a couple pitches already. He's already had an error in the field. He's added some other hits. So, he's just getting acclimated to life in the big league.
Yeah, and it's always fun when a guy from K-State comes through Wichita or comes through the organization, the Twins organization. Are there any other players with Kansas ties, whether it be high school baseball in Wichita or Wichita State, KU, K-State, that have the potential to be coming through the Twins organization and coming through Wichita in the coming years?
I don't know of any other ones with Kansas ties at this point. Obviously, this is the day that Brock Rodden, who played here at Equity Bank Park last season with the Arkansas Travelers being the Seattle Mariners, is going to make his big league debut tonight. We do get to see quite a few guys come through, because I always like to see, it's always good to have a local guy, even if he's in the other dugout. It adds to it. Walker Yannick, who is the catcher currently for Corpus Christi, was in town a few years ago, won the Buster Posey Award. He's in town. He's the starting catcher tonight for Corpus. So even though he didn't play for a Wichita team or a Kansas team, the fact that he'd been here with the Buster Posey Award, it's always good to get to know these local guys that have a little bit of a local flavor. But I don't think there's anybody else in the Twins org at the moment. But obviously I really only know, what with Wichita and obviously what's above us, and then I know a little bit below us, but a lot of times it's a crash of what information comes my way, once a player gets added to our roster or once they're on the cusp of coming here if they're playing for Cedar Rapids, which is the team right below us.
Yeah. Talking with Tim Krebs here in the press box. Tim, broadcaster of the Wichita Wind Surge. Tim, if I'm someone out there who's thinking about taking my kids, taking a date to a baseball game this weekend at Equity Bank Park, and I'm curious to know about these promotions. I mean, kind of the floor is yours. I'm seeing the Be Bold, the Neon Night tonight. You got the Walker Jenkins bobblehead night tomorrow, and then you got Tumba Vacas on Sunday. It seems like a good lineup.
Yeah, it's a great lineup. Tonight, the Special Olympics, we're wearing a special jersey tonight, and that'll be fun. It's also a fireworks night here at the ballpark. We got a couple of nice, bright neon light, neon type of specials going on tonight with the promotion. And then Walker Jenkins bobblehead tomorrow. I mean, we talked about Kalen Culpepper just a moment ago making his big league debut. It's just a matter of time before we'll be on the show here in a couple of weeks, probably talking about Walker making his big league debut with the Twins as well. So he'll be up there, I would imagine, here in the next few weeks. I think if the need is there for an outfielder, he's the guy that's going to get called upon. And then pregame catch and kids run the bases on Sunday is always something that the kids love, and it's just another added part to it. And then we're home. We're on the road next week, and then we're back home in 2 weeks when we welcome in Arkansas once again.
Yeah, Be Bold Neon Night with Special Olympics tonight, like you were talking about. Is there anything else up the sleeve for tonight to honor Special Olympics participants, or what's going to be going on at the ballpark during the game tonight in that regard?
Yeah, there'll be some ceremonial first pitches, and there's some neon-type promotions that are going to be on the field tonight, so that'll add to it. One of the Special Olympians submitted artwork for what the Wind Surge jersey will be tonight, so they submitted that, and they'll be wearing that here at the ballpark tonight. The players will be, and the guy that designed the jersey is going to get a chance to throw the ceremonial first pitch. So we've got a lot going on, and the team's playing well. They've won, 2 of the first 3 in this one. They won 4 out of 6 last week against the Royals affiliate, and believe it or not, this Wind Surge team has the best record since the All-Star break in the Texas League. So I know it's been a tough uphill climb from time to time this year, but Merrick Houston and Brandon Whitaker and Garrett Spain and Caden Kendall and company are clicking on all cylinders right now, and hope we can keep it going here tonight.
Yeah, Tim, just doing those sports reports. I mean, Spain and Kendall, have been racking it up in the RBI column here in recent days, so that is great to see. I do want to sort of go big picture here and ask about what's on a lot of fans' minds heading into the end of this Major League Baseball season, and it is a lockout. Now, Tim, kind of remind us, how would that tie into minor league baseball if there is a lockout in Major League Baseball, or maybe the season gets shortened a little bit? How would that affect things in the minor ranks?
the agreement doesn't expire until December, so you don't have to worry about this season at the major league level being shortened at whatsoever. This is going to be one of those ones. They'll play it out to the World Series, and then whatever happens in the offseason, obviously we all read the same articles. I don't have any insight on that. The one thing that I can tell you about that potential is the Wind Surge will play. We'll be here next year on April 4th. The minor league players union is separate than the Major League Baseball players union. So we will have a season next year. We will have opening day next year, regardless of what happens with all the implications, what happens in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how that all plays out coming this offseason. Something piqued my interest a little bit that when you were talking earlier about kind of keeping track of other teams or other players in the organization that aren't necessarily at Wichita right now. Has that gotten at least a little bit easier with the consolidation of the minor leagues and baseball kind of limiting it to four minor league teams per club, and there's not as many other like offshoot leagues out there, and there's 120 total. Has that gotten a little bit easier for you?
It absolutely has. I mean, obviously the when I was prior to Wichita, I was in a 16-team league too, which meant there was 16 different major league affiliates. Here in the Texas League, there's only 10 affiliates. We play each other a little bit more frequency. Obviously, this is a rare time that the Astros affiliate is here in Wichita, so just less is more. When there's less affiliates in your league, you don't see as many, but at the same time, it's easier to follow. And for folks that are here in Kansas that are Royals fans, obviously Northwest Arkansas comes rolling through here, at least twice a season. The Dodgers come through here twice a year. The Cardinals come through here twice a year. So we get to see some of the common teams that I think most people kind of root for.
And Tim, maybe we'll close things out. Kind of a reminder to the public about how the postseason works with minor league baseball. I know you kind of break it down at first half, second half. Any route the Wichita Wind Surge can sort of storm back here. I know Springfield, kind of year in year out seems like a dominant force here in the Texas League North. Anything the Surge can maybe do to make a postseason push?
Yeah, no, we're knocking on the door. I told you we had the best record in the Texas League over the last 3+ weeks. So if we can keep that up and get a little help, somebody needs to take down the Springfield Cardinals. We got some work to do. We're 7 games back of them with we still have 15 home games to go and then 12 road games. So we're going to need to pick up some ground with 27 games. But there's a month left in the season, and I think it's definitely possible. That's a little more than a game a week that we would need to pick up.
And just to clarify, Tulsa won the first half, and then it's the winner of the second half, which other than Tulsa, which has Springfield ahead of you right now. Is that how the playoffs work for the Wichita's chance? Okay.
Yeah, so let's just say Tulsa wins the second half again. It would be the second place team that would go. So, we just need to really get ahead of Springfield because right now we're tied for third place. And if we were able to keep playing like we are, we would just need somebody else to help beat Springfield along the way and then just keep winning the way we are.
He is Tim Grubbs, broadcaster of the Wichita Wind Surge, right there at Equity Bank Park here in the downtown area of the ICT. Hey, Tim, we appreciate it, man. Remind the folks again, where can they get tickets?
Yeah, come on down to the ballpark, Equity Bank Park, or you can go to windsurge.com. We've got the app. A lot of convenient ways for you to get tickets. So come on out, 6:35 tonight, 6:05 tomorrow, and then 1:05 on Sunday afternoon. Appreciate the time, guys.
Tim, you're the best.
Tim.
We'll see you. All right, 522-1410 on the other side. Stick with us here on KGSO.
Call the Press Box now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The Press Box on KGSO.
This is The Herd.
You got to be consistent.
With Colin Cowherd.
Mic check. There's an NFL team. Guess which NFL team was without 20 players who were injured at their practice? You'd be like, Niners. I know football is more than just vibes, but the vibes around the Niners are not good. The coach has a concussion. Ricky Pearsall now out for the year again.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays at 11 a.m. right here on KGSO and on the SC Wichita app.
Start your day the delicious way at Mr. B's Daylight Donuts in Goddard. Fresh donuts, pastries, and breakfast favorites are made daily and waiting for you every morning. From classic glazed donuts and warm cinnamon rolls to tasty breakfasts like biscuits and gravy and hot coffee, Mr. B's has something for everyone. Whether you're grabbing breakfast on the go or picking up treats for the office, make Mr. B's Daylight Donuts your first stop of the day. Stop by today and taste the difference that fresh makes at Mr. B's Daylight Donuts in Goddard. Something to crow about.
Wichita Clear Bra, your quality auto spa.
Window tinting, ceramic coating, paint protection film, vinyl wraps, full wraps, clear, stealth, and color. WichitaClearBra.com.
Wichita Clear Bra, your quality auto spa.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
Looking for a new-to-you ride? For over 70 years, customers have trusted Rusty Egg Ford with quality vehicles and exceptional service. We have 500 used cars available with 150 Ford Blue Advantage certified. From fuel-efficient cars to tough trucks and versatile SUVs, you'll find quality, value, and selection all in one place. That's peace of mind with every mile. Buy with confidence at Rusty Egg Ford. Visit rustyeggford.com. Family owned and simply the best place to buy. See dealer for details.
Fierce Coins and Bullion, Kansas's premier bullion dealer.
If you want to add gold and silver bullion to your portfolio, there's no better place to go. Make sure to check out Phil's Coins online at philscoins.com. And with the largest variety of items, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Phil's Coins and Bullion, 9344 West Central Avenue. Go check them out today.
Fierce Coins and Bullion, philscoins.com.
This is Wichita's sports station, KGSO. Locally owned, locally proud.
Desperate and broken, the sound of a fight. Father has spoken.
Having a blast talking action on the diamond. I do want to move to the gridiron here for this segment of the press box. Then sticking with us through the break, Tim Grubbs, Wichita Wind Surge, stopping on by every other Friday just about. Call us, 522-1410. Be a special guest to us here this late afternoon. Let's dare to talk about a little preseason here, Sasha. I know maybe you were a little shy the other day to dive into this, but we have some results.
Yeah, some results.
Teams have found their way into the preseason standings. No, the ongoing joke.
For me, it's like I don't think preseason's pointless or useless. I don't worry too much about who wins and loses. It's more about like looking for individual players that are stepping up, and also teams can signal you things. If you're a fantasy football player or whatever, they can signal you like who's the starter and who's not. If they're sitting all their starters and this one guy's sitting and another guy's playing. Things like that, or if there's a position battle that you want to watch and see who does well at it. There's things to watch in the preseason. It's just like from an all 32 team perspective, it's hard to pay attention to.
Of course. Like, I think the first half is watchable because usually you see a starter or two out there. You understand, like, hey, some of these drives are important, but the overall game is kind of irrelevant, especially when you get the Tennessee Titans beating the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, that's pretty rare of a sight to see. Look, we got Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza was throwing the rock for the Vegas Raiders last night. Yeah. Look, Fernando Mendoza, I think he's going to be pretty good in this league. I know a lot of people sort of said, is he just a product of the Indiana Hoosiers? Is he more of a game manager? Kirk Cousins, I believe, did get the official start in this one, going 5-6, but Mendoza had the most pass attempts. I think it's fair to give the number 1 overall pick the most reps, most game time out there. Look, 97 yards, a touchdown for the Raiders.
Yeah, and listen, Indiana had a really good team last year, but a lot of that was because of Mendoza. It wasn't. I don't think Mendoza was a product of Indiana. I think some of what Indiana was a product of Mendoza. Because it's not like he was at Alabama or Ohio State and you got 3 first-round wide receivers you're throwing to, right? And I know Omar Cooper Jr. got picked in the first round, but that was largely because of a great year this year, and a lot of people don't think he's going to play very much for the Jets even this year. And so I think you have to give Mendoza more college credit for that. Like, Indiana's not. They were a juggernaut last year. They were a great team, but they weren't this historically talented team where everything around them was perfect. And so I do think he was a good pick, and he played well last night. Even Cousins got in a little bit there for the Raiders. I think the Raiders offense will be improved this year. The question mark will be, do they have anyone on the outside to throw to? Like, we know Brock Bowers is really good. We know Ashton Jeanty was the 6th overall pick in his draft, so he should be pretty good for a running back.
Hopefully.
I just don't know if they have any receivers to help alleviate any pressure off those quarterbacks.
Linderbaum should really help out the offensive line, a top-paid center in the sport. Yeah, I think Mendoza, maybe Kurt Cignetti gets some of that credit, but Fernando Mendoza putting his body on the line against that front 7 of the Miami Hurricanes in the championship game really did waves to me.
And I watch more NFL football than I do college, but I watched all of Mendoza's playoff games, and that's the advantage of a guy going that deep in the playoffs, is that more people actually see them with their eyes.
Right.
And he made big-time throws consistently for Indiana. A lot of the throws he was making, I was like, I don't see very many college quarterbacks make those throws very often. That looks more like a Sunday throw. So
I'm looking through the names of some of these quarterbacks who played in the preseason. I'm looking now at the Chargers-Texans game.
Yeah.
Davis Mills got this. He played the most snaps for Houston.
Yeah.
You got Trey Lance out there who threw 20 passes. You remember the old Clemson quarterback?
Yeah, DJ
Uiagalelei. Yeah, he actually threw 9 passes. So, look, you see some of these former college stars, even college misfits, if you will, show up and play in the preseason.
The reality is, too, in these most teams either have a superstar quarterback that's barely going to play at all in the preseason, or they have 2 guys battling for a starting job that might not play as much either, and then you got to have at least 2 guys behind them to play. So you're going to see a lot of college names that you remember. I bet Jalen Daniels is probably on some roster somewhere and going to get some time in the preseason, especially when you get to that 3rd preseason game. It's like, who do we have that we haven't cut yet that we can throw out there for this entire game and then cut them after it? And so, yeah, that's the way it goes.
Speaking of making cuts, I had told James Guerin, of course, who's in the morning now with Doug Down, 6 to 9 a.m. with a game plan. I told him, go into this preseason game with his Colts, I'm saying, look, man, you got New England, who's just your bigger brother historically, kind of feeding into the Tom Manning rivalry. But look, Anthony Richardson made a sighting last night, and I did not think it was going to go well for him. And, well, he lost a fumble and he threw an interception. Riley Leonard wasn't a whole lot better, 10 of 21. He also threw a pick. And you ended with a preseason good old-fashioned tie, right? 13-13.
Yeah.
I think it puts a lot of pressure on Daniel Jones to come through for this squad.
Yeah, word on the street is that the Colts are going to keep 3 quarterbacks, and Anthony Richardson's going to be on the roster come the season, which I don't know. It's only because they couldn't trade him.
I think
right?
he's third on the depth chart now.
And his contract will run out after this year, and we'll see if anybody picks him up next year for free. But I don't think anybody wanted to sacrifice anything for Anthony Richardson.
Is he the biggest quarterback bust of the decade? I mean, there are some names to sit and ponder with.
He was the 4th overall pick.
He is up there.
He's high up there on the list, but I think it's kind of like, what did the Colts expect, right? Because they played him for a while, and he actually mostly went about 500 when he was playing, I think. And they knew going in that he had only started 13 college games in his career, and it was going to take him a while to get good. And so I don't know what they expected him to be. And that's kind of the problem I have with teams taking these guys that have played one season of college football as starters, is you say they're a project, but then you play them immediately. And you either sit them and they never get the experience they need, and once it's time for them to play, they're not ready. Or you play them right away and you wonder why they stink, and then pull the plug on them after 1 or 2 years, when the reality is they needed 20, 25 more starts before they were ready to play in the NFL. There's no good way for guys to get experience in the NFL. There's no minor leagues. So you need to draft a guy that's played enough in college to be successful right away.
And when you have story after story of players in Major League Baseball and their career doesn't start out strong, but they were on fire in the minor leagues, and maybe they had to dip back to the minors, but eventually they broke through and became a star. It makes you think, man, it'd be nice to have that on the NFL level, but you don't. Yeah. And look, once you get drafted and you have expectations, you have to produce. And Anthony Richardson, I would maybe say Trey Lance is a bigger bust.
It's the Trey Lance story all over again.
This decade.
That's what I was thinking of.
I don't know if it's quite egregious, because Trey Lance didn't even play for an FBS school, but
the Niners traded a bunch of assets to get Trey Lance, and it didn't work out. And that's another example, right? Maybe if there was minor leagues in football that he could go play in for a while, and they have the spring leagues and stuff, but there's 90 guys on all these rosters right now. All those guys are going to be getting cut down to 53 pretty soon. There's enough football players in existence for them to maybe have a 10-team minor league system in the fall where guys could get called up, but they don't want to do it. So
maybe the most interesting and actually relevant to potential real football down the line was the Steelers quarterback trio. Yeah. Drew Aller, Will Howard, and Mason Rudolph, all threw 9+ passes. Howard went 7 of 9. Of course, the former Wildcat, former Buckeye. Yes, we know. But I almost view that and as a tryout. This preseason, the next 2 games for Pittsburgh, it's a tryout for next year's starting quarterback job. With Aaron Rodgers said he's going to hang it up.
They all played decent. I will tell you, if one of those guys is Pittsburgh's starting quarterback next year,
yikes.
Pittsburgh's going to stink. And that can't be their plan moving forward, is for one of those 3 guys to be their starting quarterback in the future. And I know we're in the state of Kansas, and Will Howard spent some time at Kansas State, and people want to make that out to be him to be an NFL quarterback. But if anything, his time at Kansas State should be exactly why he's not. Right? His time at Ohio State is what gives you hope that he might be, but he was a 6th-round pick for a reason. I don't think Drew Aller, Mason Rudolph, Will Howard are an answer at starting quarterback. The Steelers are going to have to figure out something between now and then.
And if Carnell Tate goes on to have a really good season as well, I mean, that's going to be interesting. You're also going to think how good is Jeremiah Smith if Will Howard doesn't look too good in the National Football League. Got another minute to go here in this hour of the Press Box. Stick with us here into 5 o'clock. Yeah, the Bengals and the Lions go at it in a low-scoring dogfight, 16-14. Joe Burrow actually played in this game. I'm surprised he made an appearance.
Yeah.
5 of 6. You got a little bit from Joe Burrow out there.
Yeah, he
Dangerous.
Played a series, right? Looked good doing it, and I think that's the approach a lot of these teams will take with the superstar quarterbacks, is play them one series in the first game and then maybe shut them down, or maybe play them one series in the first 2 games, shut them down afterwards. It gives your offense a chance to run one real drive, right? And Jamar Chase was in there too. He caught a pass from him. So good on Cincy. They got to win. Congrats.
Josh Dobbs is now in the Detroit Lions, by the way.
Yeah,
He's
with
31.
the Bridgewater retirement, they had to go make some moves at quarterback and picked up the Pastronaut.
The Pastronaut, baby.
It's a great nickname.
The Dobb father might even be better.
I like the Pastronaut. He's
It was
studied
with, it was
aeroscience
Minnesota
or something.
that he had a nice stint with.
Yeah,
some years back.
He started like 3 days after he got traded to him and won a game. It was pretty impressive. Came over from the Cardinals.
Tennessee legend.
The wait is officially over. The NFL is back on Sports USA. Every hit matters, and every play sets the tone.
Give to Henry. Out in the middle he goes. Runs into his own tackler. Breaks through another. Extends the ball over the goal line. Touchdown, Baltimore.
It's where the rookies fight for their spot and the veterans stake their claim. This Saturday, it's the Philadelphia Eagles at the Baltimore Ravens on your home for the NFL, Sports USA.
Pre-game Saturday at 5:30 right here on Wichita Sports Station, KGSO.
Every school pickup line has a main character. Most days, it's the kids. But once a year, a parent pulls up in a brand new Kia Telluride. And suddenly, all eyes are on Mom.
Is that the new one? I heard it comes in a hybrid now.
I heard it has heated seats in all 3 rows.
And for a moment, the kids aren't the only ones in the spotlight. This August, let that parent be you, because Mom deserves to shine too. Or if it's your student's turn to get behind the wheel, find great starter cars like the K4 sedan and K4 hatchback. Plus, you can get 0% financing on brand new Sportage and Sorento models. And every new Kia is backed by our unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Whichever model you choose, we have big savings on great vehicles for that main character energy. Only at Midwest Kia.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
With approved credit, see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
The best barbecue deal in town is at Hog Wild. Right now, Hog Wild is serving up a $5.99 meal that's big on flavor and easy on your wallet. Get a 1-meat sandwich, your favorite classic side, and a drink, all for just $5.99. Want brisket? Upgrade to our tender slow-smoked beef brisket for only $1.50 more. Pulled pork, juicy chicken, and hot links. Everything is smoked fresh, made daily, and piled high. This is real barbecue at a price that's hard to beat. When you want big flavor and a big deal, head to Hog Wild for the $5.99 meal deal today. Great food, great price, great barbecue. Join us for lunch or dinner, or order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 6 locations in Wichita, also in Derby, El Dorado, Hutchinson, and Salina.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you. But don't be late, we close at 8.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I'm okay.
You're not okay.
It's normal to have diarrhea and stomach pains.
Sometimes, but not as often as you do.
I've got this under control.
No, you don't.
It's time to let that voice inside your head be heard. Urgent diarrhea and chronic stomach pain can be signs of Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation can help you learn more and even find a specialist. Don't keep your symptoms to yourself. Get help at spillyourguts.org.
This is Wichita's sports station, K230BY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO Belle Plaine, Wichita. Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita.
I feel more informed when I listen.
This is The Press Box on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
The Press Box on KGSO.
Oh, fun. That's what we have here on the Press Box. Hour 2 beginning, getting kicked off in a good way. We're going to talk some fantasy football here. It is a shortened hour of the Press Box, by the way. We are starting some NFL pregame coverage tonight, so stay tuned around 5:30 if you're looking to check that out and listen to some action before the action, if you will, here for week 1 of the preseason. Inside the KGSO studios, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, where installation's done right and right on schedule. Call us on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines. Folks have been scared today, been biting the fingernails. Their foreheads just pouring with sweat. 522-1410. And if you have to rush inside, you still want to listen to the show, KGSO.com, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or YouTube, and especially if you download the SC Wichita app, listen to us anytime outside of your vehicle. Check out 99.7 Hank FM if you like country, 1480 KQAM for conservative news talk, and 102.5 La Raza if you know some Spanish.
Yeah. And I do, before we get into the fantasy football conversation, I have a quick local thing to mention that we didn't talk. Well, actually, Tim Grubbs mentioned it in the first hour, but you and I didn't talk about it in either of the segments, and it was a quick mention, so I want to just bring it up again. Former Shocker infielder Brock Rodden is making his MLB debut tonight for the Seattle Mariners. He's a 5'9" infielder, that left-handed batter that played with the Shockers a few years back, and his slash line in Tacoma this year, 410 plate appearances, 262, 342, 499, 19 homers, 65 RBIs, and he's making an appearance for the Seattle Mariners tonight. So congrats.
I was hoping you were maybe going to say that he was a catcher, because it seems like they maybe need a new catcher up there in Seattle.
Is Cal Raleigh hurt? Is Cal Raleigh hurt?
He's not hurt.
He's just batting like 170. I honestly have no idea.
He's batting 159.
Is he really?
Yes.
That's a bad average.
He was 247 last year with, of course, 60 homers, $125 ribeyes. He's got 12 home runs and 43 RBIs this year in 88 games. Yes, batting 159.
That's incredible.
Oh, not good at all.
It's hard to do. You have to hit 60 home runs the year before to bat 159 on a season, because it's the only way you can survive in the lineup that long at 159 is that you hit 60 home runs the year before.
But shout out to the former
He's got
Shocker.
a negative .4 WAR this year, which I don't want to throw dirt on any graves here, but is better than Salvi's WAR, because I was looking at that the other day. His is negative .6. It's really hard to have a negative WAR, by the way. It really is. That's because that's your comparison to an average AAA player at your position. So there's only 3 players on the whole Royals roster that have a negative WAR, and they're 23 games under 500. So,
hey, Cal Raleigh, how's your season going?
Mission failed. We'll get 'em next time.
Yeah, hopefully you got it next time,
sorry,
Cal.
Cal.
All right. Let's get to a little fantasy. We're not going to fully dive in. We'll sort of scratch the crust a little bit with fantasy football. I have played fantasy football. I'm not one of those guys. I think we've had some calls here in the show who have told us, yeah, I've played fantasy football with my buddies going back to the 90s. You guys are sickos. You guys, congrats to surviving the time capsule, still going strong. I've played fantasy football, I think, for about 8 years, and I'll admit this. Even though I do a sports show, even though my life is kind of dedicated to sports, I've never won a fantasy football championship. Now, I've had the best regular season record multiple times, all time. I placed really well in my current league. I've been in for many years, but tough admission.
Pick it up,
me,
Jacob. Pick it up. I have a response to that, but let's take this call.
Pick it up with a phone line and pick it up with a play. Who knows? Let's go to the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines. We'll pick up your call. What's going on, man?
Jiggaman, Jay-Z, SB, Sasha in
That's
the
us.
house.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Bye, you
Batman
buddy.
and
You
Robin.
play fantasy football?
Do I? I am the fan. No, I haven't in a while, but I keep up with it, honestly. I'm keep up with it from afar, but no, man.
I just can't
who you
understand a
pick?
guy who doesn't fantasize about football players.
Right Right. What kind of world are we living in? I mean, you know what I mean? But no, what were your thought about last 6 games last night? Give me some recap that stood out to y'all.
We talked about the quarterback battles a little bit. We were kind of highlighting, hey, the Steelers had a trio that they rolled out. We saw Mendoza sighting there with Las Vegas and the Cardinals going back and forth. I kind of started off by saying, look, you can't really take many notes from the preseason because the Titans beat the 49ers, and that's probably not going to happen in any capacity this year. But you had Cam Ward out there as a starter, and look, you get a little bit of everything. You had a tie as well with the Colts in the past.
I think a player, an individual player that people were excited to see what he looked like on an NFL field and did get some significant run last night was Jeremiah Love. And he had 11 carries for 58 yards from Notre Dame.
There it is.
And he looked like a running back that got selected 3rd overall, like the way you would want him to look with that kind of draft capital spent on him.
Yeah, looked tough, and Mendy for Vegas, Mendoza looked good, on time, good rhythm, but it's all against backups, like you said, Jay-Z. So, as he next week, hopefully get more reps and so forth and all, but yeah, preseason football, pads on pads and all, but yeah, we got a lot of games tonight and then tomorrow, so. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to see some rookies play.
Hey, Mr. Bayou, how are you a Notre Dame fan?
Mr. Bayou. Hey, who said I was a Notre Dame fan, Jay-Z? Who said that?
I thought that's what was going
You're
down.
You're assuming,
anyway.
Jay-Z. No, I'm a Bayou Bengals fan.
He's a Tiger.
Brother.
Go Tigers.
Tiger.
So,
yeah.
Are you happy Brian Kelly's out of town then? I think Notre Dame was.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I mean, he was done midway last season, man. He was tapped out. You could tell his body language, that was obvious. You know what I'm saying? When he's cursing out the special teams coach on something that he should have control of, and it was just a bad ordeal. He needed to go, but it's done. New face, and we're back.
LSU's got they got a big game early this year, right? Clemson week 1, is that right?
Yeah. That's right, in the real Death Valley against the Orange Tiger. With that weak mascot they have, that Clemson. That mascot suit is terrible, huh? I can confirm. Right?
Hey, listen, beating Clemson is not what it once was, but you still want to do it.
Wait, hold on. If we're talking LSU, I got to ask you. You're the guy to ask. Who deserves number 5? Does Jaden Daniels get that sucker retired? Does it go to the new kid?
He called and gave us his thoughts on this yesterday. I was going to ask him that too, but he talked to us about this yesterday.
Look, DJ Pickett deserves it. He had it on the practice. Yeah, short-term memory. How old are you, kid? No, just messing. No, DJ Pickett. DJ Pickett got the jersey. He's good, All-American sophomore. So he's looking to, looking to keep up what he did last year. And yeah, man, it's all good. UFC, Sasha, big UFC card this weekend, man. Who you got?
Fired up, man. Yeah, I'm fired up. I got Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar's going to take home the crown.
You go with the great Khali. You also go with the great Khali, baby. Come on, lock it in.
Georges St. Pierre, is that a person? Yeah, he might win this weekend.
The Canadian.
Oh, man.
He's
Chuck
not a big
Liddell.
Mortal Kombat fan, but that's okay.
Yes, the wrong guy.
Right.
Oh, man, swing and miss.
Well, good. Good to hear from you guys. Take care. Have a good week.
Thanks,
I'll probably
Devin.
call back. Well, tomorrow's Saturday. Y'all be good. Have a good weekend.
All right, see you, man. I did see a little bit more clarity on that Jaden Daniels number situation yesterday. I don't remember the college guy's name. I don't need to know it. But basically, when he came in, he asked Brian Kelly for number 5. Brian Kelly reached out to Jaden Daniels and asked for permission. Jaden Daniels did not grant permission, and Brian Kelly was like, okay, you can't have 5. So he wore 3. And then new coach, he goes and asks the new coach, Lane Kiffin, for number 5. And Lane Kiffin's like, sure, why not? He didn't bother to call Jaden, and I think that's probably what Jaden was upset about.
This had something to do with Lane Kiffin because Lane Kiffin was sort of asked about it. He kind of dismissed the question at the press conference the other day.
It probably didn't even cross Lane Kiffin's mind that there was a reason that he shouldn't be giving out number 5. He's probably just like, yeah, why you want 5? Double. Here's a nickel. Yeah, let's go.
We got some Devin on Devin love here on Facebook. Devin Slane saying, Devin is the best. Love his energy. Reminds me of another Devin I know. All right, great stuff. Look, we started off this segment on a fantasy football focus. We've sort of gotten off track, but we're kind of giving our opening thoughts on fantasy football. We're going to start a series probably around this time slot next week. We'll maybe go by position. We'll talk quarterbacks. We'll talk running backs. Talk wide receivers. Talk tight ends, and that'll probably do it. But any strong takes? Any trends you're looking for? How do you set up your league? Do you do the auction? Do you do the regular draft?
Yeah.
What do you like about fantasy?
My main league that's been going probably maybe 15 years or so with the similar, pretty much the same group of guys, a few in and outs. That's an auction league, which is a totally different ball game. Because what I like about the auctions is there might be like everybody can set up their team differently, right? If you have a regular snake draft, you're going to get in a situation where basically everyone's going to get a top 12 player, like one of the guys they want, and then so on and so forth. And it's going to be kind of evenly dispersed in everybody's got their one stud and then a couple pretty good players, and then they fill out their depth. If you get an auction and you're like, I'm going to spend all my money on 3 guys, and I want like the best, and then I'll just
CMC,
figure out the rest, right?
Derrick Henry.
It's like you want Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Allen, and JSN, right? You want all 3. It might be tough to make it happen because other guys have budgets too, but you could theoretically do that and then just have turds everywhere else and see how it plays out. And then someone else could be like, I'm not going to take any of the top 5 guys. I'm going to be really deep though. I'm going to have like really solid players up and down the roster. And so it creates like a little bit different rosters from each other. So I like the auction thing. I joined a new dynasty league this year. And so that'll be a snake draft. And the Dynasty League, obviously, you keep your players year to year. It's like a franchise sort of deal, and you trade draft picks and stuff. So, yeah, we'll see how I like Dynasty. I've never done Dynasty before.
I feel like Dynasty would be a little stressful, man. You know, you got to make sure your league commissioner isn't in any legal trouble or anything like that. You got to make sure he's going to be around. I think Dynasty has its ups and downs, but just the thought of like, oh man, I'm gonna try to go get this guy out of college next year, and I mean, you're operating like a real GM.
I heard an advertisement the other day for a contract dynasty league where you have to sign players to contracts and you have a salary cap and you have to stay under the salary cap and like it's like legit GM stuff.
Can you defer money?
No, there's a salary cap in this league. This is not Major League Baseball. But yeah, and then I play another like family league that's a snake draft that's more for fun, but it kind of depends on your league how your draft strategy is. What's your favorite position to go after, Jacob? Like if you have a pick in the first round, is there a position you like better than others? Yeah, I know.
I typically go wide receiver early because I feel like you have a pool of running backs where you can trust. You can trust sometimes a number 2 to become a number 1 later in the season. It feels like sometimes some of these performances out of nowhere, you know, you see some injuries, guys get hot. I think running back I can trust a little bit later.
A little bit.
I like having some star wide receivers. I got Puka in the first round last year. I wouldn't say I have a strong preference necessarily on the positions, but if you've got a 2-quarterback league, then I think you got to capitalize. But you could also come through and, you know, just take a sudden starter out of nowhere who can give you an easy 12 points.
Yeah, super flex leagues get a little tricky because usually you want to wait on quarterback. But, yeah, those 2-quarterback leagues get a little tricky. I'll say this. There's less good running backs than there are good receivers, which is why a lot of people will take running backs early in the draft because they want to make sure they have one of those premier running backs. But you're right about what you were saying, which is the running back position can be more volatile because running backs get hurt, and then a number 2 can all of a sudden be a huge fantasy asset, but you don't know who that's going to be before the draft, so it's hard to judge that. So you kind of you build up a war chest of running backs and hope the guy in front of them gets hurt. But yeah,
the biggest frustration is when you have like a high-end number 2 running back in your flex spot, and you don't have the transparency. Obviously, you're not. From the coaching staff. They're never going to say in a press conference, yeah, we're planning on giving so-and-so 10 touches this upcoming game.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't hope for some sort of information to get released by that. You kind of have to take a hunch, and there's been times where I've been bit, man, where I actually do get a little slim at the running back spot and maybe make a trade, give up a wide receiver I don't want to get rid of, get a running back, and then all of a sudden you usage rate, if you will, kind of falls off a cliff. So you can make some trades that come back to bite you, and I don't even think I made a single trade last year. So that might be my trade trend moving into this year. But yeah, an auction league, pretty fun. A regular snake draft is A-okay as long as you're not on one of the end spots. And you just
don't
wait
like
all
to be
day.
on the end. Yeah,
it's more
if
about
you have the number one pick, I'm okay with that, and then you get 2 picks in a row. I don't like to be last.
It's more about the actual draft itself, with how much time you've got to wait.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but my league is infamous for, hey, here's going to be our start time, and then, hey, we're going to push back our start time. We're going to push it back again.
Yeah, don't push it back. You're auto drafting if you're not there on time. Let's go. Get some timeliness. Let's go.
We need some structure,
some responsibility in these players.
Some adults running this show.
Call the Press Box now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The Press Box on KGSO.
Want to hear more of KGSO? Don't forget to download our app today. Fill out weekly surveys, register to win great prizes, listen live, message our shows, and so much more. Plus, get reminders of special programming and games you don't want to miss. Just find SC Wichita in your app store and make KGSO your new favorite app. It's Wichita's Sports Talk, right on your phone. Download the SC Wichita app today with Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Right now, Rusty at Ford is making it easier than ever to save. Get 2.9% financing for 84 months, plus $1,000 rebate on all 2026 F-150s. With dealer discounts and 2 years maintenance on us, now's the perfect time to drive home in a new truck. Looking for something else? We have 500 new and used vehicles to choose from. And don't forget, we'll give you up to $5,000 over KBB for your trade. Visit RustyAtFord.com. Simply the best place to buy.
With approved credit, 2 years or 25,000 miles maintenance. See dealer for details. Raptor's not included.
T-Mobile is launching something no other wireless network offers. Introducing Nothing. Pay nothing today and walk out of the store with a new phone.
What did he say?
Nothing.
You definitely said something about nothing.
Exactly. Go to T-Mobile, pay nothing up front, and leave with a new phone.
Wait, nothing rules.
She gets it.
Hey, thanks for nothing.
For the first time ever, switch to T-Mobile, pay nothing. No taxes, no fees, no money down. And walk out with a new phone. There are 250 reasons to choose T-Mobile, and now nothing is holding you back.
On eligible devices with qualifying credit plan and 36-month finance agreement.
Getting in the zone is easy when your crew's fed right. Bricktown Brewery in Wichita East and West has your next event covered with catering that brings the flavor. From Bricktown boxes that make lunchtime a win to crafted specialty entrees and full buffet bar setups, you can bring the taste of Bricktown straight to your office, team, or celebration. Bricktown Brewery Catering, available for pickup, delivery, or full service. Check out the full menu at bricktownbrewery.com/catering. Bricktown Brewery Catering, bring your appetite and we'll handle the rest.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon James. Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
Wichita's home for college football is KGSO.
I was young, running free.
show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting out of here a little early. We have some NFL preseason starting here in about 10 minutes, so stay tuned for that. Look, preseason, it still has a little bit of value. Speaking of good value,
Taco Tico, it's all about the taste.
we've got the new special at Taco Tico, the bean and cheese burrito, $2 for $3. Wow, I was getting ready to say $3.99, Sasha, but it's even cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great deal. You got a meat and cheese burrito, third pound, $2.79. Check them out. 13th and Tyler, 35th and Rock Road, Arc City, Newton, El Dorado, Derby, Augusta, Taco Tico. Online orders, tacotico.us, where it's all about the
taste.
Oh, man. Look, we're maybe not going to play a full court press here, but we're going to talk about some troublemakers in the NFL world here this segment to close things out. And I know, Sasha, you were telling me a little bit before the show that the Terrion Arnold situation kind of hits a little close to home for you because of what happened with the Chiefs some years back.
Well, it's not. I mean, I guess it's close to home. I think it's happened to most teams in the league. I just think it's silly. Like, something happens in the legal world, and there's all this pressure on the team that they play for to cut them. Right? It's like, well, if you don't cut this guy, like, and then somebody else just signs him later. And so what is the team accomplishing by cutting him? They're just letting somebody else have him. You should keep the player and then let them get punished by the league, right? That's the league's job to punish them. Or if you want to suspend them or something as a team, great. But you do not have to cut a guy if they get into trouble. Unless it's like something that's going to rise to the level that no other team's ever going to sign him. And Terrion Arnold got his basically got told today that he's not going to have to stay in prison till the trial, right? Got bond and got out, and like within seconds, the Seahawks signed him.
I mean, I think a lot of cases, what you're saying makes sense, and I'll admit, I've totally thought this in the past. I'm like, why in the world, if some other team can go and just pick him up and then use him this season, would you get rid of him? I think it's more to deal with, hey, organizational standards, right? I think you have a lot of people who work in the organization who are not on the football team itself, who maybe feel uncomfortable now around that individual, and they don't want to deal with that situation. So I understand why we do see this. But look, I mean, Terrion Arnold got hit with 8 felonies, and we need to see the legal side play out just a little bit. But in terms of the sports side, I think you make a really good point here. And look, since we're doing a little courtroom crime talk, I'll at least play the full court press soundtrack here. But Terrion Arnold, man, I think it's going to be really disappointing for Lion fans if they see this guy showing out. Now, I think I want to see the process move fast here, right? Let's get a legal decision. If he's not going to jail, if he is going to be able to play football,
I don't
have the league maybe think about a suspension.
I don't think it can move fast, right? Because that's not the way courts work. They don't move fast, right? I doubt his trial is even set for any time this season, probably. So I don't know when his trial's set for. But even if it is set soon, they always get continuances, delay things. All we know is he does not have to stay in jail until the trial now. Disposition hearing October 5th of this year, and that'll just be like a plead, and then like you'd have a trial sometime after that.
Maybe sometime we need to have on someone who actually works in courts to like break this down a little bit more.
Yeah, we need
us.
the ESPN lawyer. Yeah, I'm just Googling stuff all the time, or the Fox Sports lawyer. All the big shows will always have lawyers come on, or they used to. Back in the day, it seemed like the sports networks had more lawyers coming on. It seems like they just speculate now and just make stuff up.
The Seahawks already had one of the best defenses in the league, and you add a Terrion Arnold. It's a little scary. I know they don't have Reek Woolen anymore. He's now in Philly. But Devon Witherspoon is up there with the best of the best. Corner-wise, I mean, the D-line, Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, These guys produce. I mean, this is the McDonald's system.
I think, that's the biggest thing is, like, they have good players, but they have players that fit the McDonald's system. And I think, like, him and D'Amico Ryans, if you want to throw somebody in with them, those are, like, the premier defensive coaches in the league, especially from the head coach position. Maybe Robert Saleh, but the Jets didn't go very well, so I'm going to reserve judgment on him for a little bit. But, like, Mike McDonald's proved that he's not only one of the best defensive minds in football and did great as a defensive coordinator, but he was able to carry that over into being a head coach and lead an entire team. He won the Super Bowl last year. So,
well, I asked for a verdict. We at least got something from the NFL with James Pierce Jr. Look, James Pierce Jr. was once upon a time in college one of the top prospects in the country for the NFL. And he actually had a pretty good rookie season. 10.5 sacks, 26th overall in the 2025 draft out of Tennessee. But, like, he's getting hit with an 8-game suspension, and this does not help the Falcons at all. Look, they're in a very winnable division, and the quarterback spot's a mess. You wanted an offensive mainstay to at least help out in other areas, and you're not going to get that for half the season. Following conduct policy issues, of course, had a domestic dispute. WNBA player Akia Jackson, and it's messy. It's just, we've kind of hit on a lot of the messy sides of the sports world today.
One of the things I find interesting in this story a little bit is the NFL actually suspended James Pierce Jr. today, but it also handed out 3 other suspensions, so 4 total. Dorrance Armstrong, Nazeeh Johnson, Titan safety, and Bills tackle Phidarian Mathis. The reason I find that interesting is we were talking fantasy last segment. One of the things the fantasy community has been a little bit worried about is will Josh Jacobs get suspended and will Puka Nacua face a minor suspension? And because Adam Schefter came out and said it's not out of the cards that they could. And so the fact that the NFL came out and handed out a handful of suspensions today and neither of those guys were on the list might mean that they're a little bit more out of the woods. It might mean the NFL just needs more time on those ones.
Look, you said 3 players that aren't exactly household names, and then you gave 2 stars. So.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Is
Right.
It doesn't matter the names, right? I didn't have to say their names. It means the NFL gave out 4 suspensions today, meaning they could have given out suspensions to Josh Jacobs too, but they didn't. So that was the point.
That's good news for those fantasy dynasty owners. Yeah. And the Rams and the Packers. All right. I'll bring this to the table here before we get out. I saw the Royals made a move, maybe a bit of a risky one, as they have acquired former All-Star pitcher Tony Gonsolin. Tony last played in 2025. He's played his whole career for the Dodgers, by the way. He missed the 2024 season. So we are, in this stretch here for Gonsolin, 2.5 years have gone by, and he's played a grand total of 7 games. But, look, this guy was incredible in 2022 as he went 16-1 and had 2.14 ERA and was an all-star. Maybe you can find that smoke again.
Yeah, we'll see. Pitching can come and go. We'll see if he provides anything this year.
NFL preseason coverage starting here on your Fox Sports station in Wichita, KGSL.
From our studios in Los Angeles, here's Rob Brender.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome inside the Sports USA studio.